Go.
Well, Bethany, I'm really glad that you told me all of that. I guess right now, our next step that we're going to do today is we're going to go over some goals for you that we can accomplish together. Definitely, it's not going to be me telling you, but we'll come up with some goals together. Some we'll prioritize them ones that we can kind of start working on this week, and some long-term goals. But yeah, so let's kind of just review over what you really are going through and your main concerns.
Okay.
You said you were in an abusive relationship. So can you tell me some more about that?
We were together for about 3 years, and he was abusive for most of the 3 years, probably.
Okay.
And he wasn't, it seems like I've had just like a string of relationships with men who have been abusive in some way. Some of them physical, some of them were emotionally abusive. And my father was abused. I'm sorry, not abused. He abused my mother.
Okay, I remember you saying that, yes.
So that was like, so growing up, that's what I saw all the time was that. And, we come from like a really strict religious background where like women are, like super traditional roles where women are seen as inferior. And that's always been because, like my dad had all daughters. So all of us were kind of raised like to think that, like we have to have a man or else there's no worth. And that's kind of what we were taught in our religion is,
of course,
if you're a single, you don't have any worth as a woman. And, that's part of why, and it would frustrate me when my mom's never stood up for herself. She always forgives my dad, and it's really just because of that, because she thinks she has to.
Right, okay. So the forgiveness, because I remember when you mentioned how you make it, every time they apologize and they make up an excuse for their behavior, you accept it. And could you tell me kind of how you felt when you did that, and how, like, maybe we can talk about the pros and the cons of that kind of like accepting and forgiving, because forgiveness is a good thing, of course, but then also the cons of how that affected you to forgive.
Yeah, I think, part of me forgiving them is because I'm scared to be alone, because because if I don't and I leave them, then like I don't, like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
And it's not like I live with them. As far as living arrangements, I'm okay with that. I have my own place to live, but...
So you never did live together?
No.
Okay.
No. But just, I guess it's just kind of like, emotionally, it's difficult for me to be alone. So that's usually why I would forgive them.
Okay.
And I would understand, some, like, the current, we broke up. When it was usually whenever he would be drinking that he was usually his angriest. So, and he had a rough life growing up too. And I think I sometimes can use that as an excuse for him to behave the way he does.
Right.
His dad was an alcoholic, so that's kind of what he's known. So, coming from that, the background I came from is the way I respond.
Okay.
And then, so when he reacts like that, I think, well, that's the background that he came from.
Okay.
Like, that's what he knows. And then, he feels bad for doing it because he just lashes out really without kind of thinking, and then he feels bad, so then I usually forgive him.
Okay, right. And so, I guess now to talk about your, like, definitely if you could give me one of your, like, most important goal, like what you really definitely want to accomplish through these sessions.
I guess I would like, I don't want to have to really depend upon somebody else. Like, I've never really, I have my own place to live, but I've never actually been on my own. We didn't live together. He had his place and I had my place, but we were almost I guess we're kind of basically living together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what it's like to like really be alone, like not
Okay.
have somebody, not have a man there.
Uh-huh. Definitely. So more of like being you're scared of being alone and not having a man there versus, you know, friends, like having friends that will support you and things like that. Because being alone definitely takes a lot. It can be very difficult, but I think if you have good support and good friends and, you know, kind of support groups too that we'll talk about later, you can get through that.
Yeah,
You know?
and I do have some, you know, I mean, I'm pretty close with my sisters.
Okay.
And I do have some friends, and it helps. My relationship with my sisters helps because, you know, they grew up with my parents, obviously, as well. So they grew up with the same strict religious backgrounds. People outside of, you know, like some of my friends, they don't really understand that whole, like, how the religion is. And they don't, you know, they knew that I was in this relationship with this guy and that he wasn't great.
Right.
And they, you know, didn't understand why I couldn't just leave. They didn't, and so it's, you know, and I lost friendships because of that. Because it's hard to explain, to tell someone that that's what I've known.
Of course.
So having my sisters helps.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about your relationship with your sisters.
Well, you know, we've been through a lot together. We, you know, grew up, you know, obviously in the same home. Watching my dad abuse my mom, he never really. I mean, we would get like spanked and stuff when we had like discipline, but it was never anything like too severe. And so, you know, as soon as we could get out of the house, we basically all moved out as soon as we possibly could in order to get out of that environment. And
including your mom.
No, my mom's still there.
Your mom's still there.
Yeah,
really.
My parents are still married.
Okay.
See, and that's actually put a huge strain on our relationship with our parents, like, and even our mom, because she constantly comes up with excuses for him, and she always forgives him, and she won't leave him, and that's because our religion doesn't allow for divorce.
Okay.
So, you know,
of course,
men are dominant, and it's a very, very traditional, and then, you know, divorce is not allowed. And so that's always been difficult. It's hard to see our mom like that. I know I've totally gone off. You asked about my relationship with my sisters.
No,
on something else.
No, that's fine.
But our relationship, I mean, it is really good. I can tell them most stuff. I don't tell them everything about like my boyfriend because I know that they would get mad at me.
Really?
For staying with him. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'm trying to think of what we can do for those times that you do start to feel lonely. You know, what you can do, who you can reach out to. Kind of let us brainstorm on that.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas?
I mean, well, my sisters for sure.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters, so for sure I could, you know, probably turn to them. And then I do have a couple of friends that I met through this art class that I took a while back. That's the other thing is I used to love doing art, and I took art classes all the time, and then I stopped doing that because, you know, my ex, I wasn't home when he wanted me to be home, and like I didn't have dinner ready or something like that, so I had to drop out of that class. And so that, I mean, I would like to be able to get back into something like that. I'd like to be able to get back into art like that.
I'm sure you missed that part of yourself, the creative.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good.
Art's a good way to sometimes get away from all. Yeah. It's a good distraction, I guess I'm trying to say.
Right. It's a good way. Like I really feel like I can. I don't know, like dealing with my anxieties and my depression and stuff. You know, when I'm working on art, it's kind of an outlet, I guess, for me.
I guess I also want to ask you too, when are the time, like when do you think that the times are the most that you are thinking that you don't want to be alone or that you need a man, you know, especially? Like when, would you say that there's like a specific time? Like would it be maybe the holidays? Around the holidays?
Probably the holidays. I guess it's kind of like anytime, like I don't know, if I've had like a rough day at work and then I come home, sometimes it's like, oh, it'd be nice to have somebody.
Of course.
And somebody's not there.
Yeah.
And so, that can be tough too.
Definitely. Do you have any pets?
No.
No pets?
Mm-mm.
Do you like pets? Have you ever
Yeah.
enjoyed dogs and animals? Okay. Would you ever consider getting one?
Yeah, I thought about getting a cat.
Okay.
I'd probably get two though. But, I had thought about that, and I have heard, I've actually read that they're pretty good they can be really good therapy.
Oh, definitely.
Company.
I just know that when sometimes coming into the door, and you have an animal there, but just get so excited of your presence, it can be a good feeling.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's probably something I can look into.
Okay. Can you tell me, I guess I want to go back to your ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
Can you tell me about kind of the frequency that the abuse would happen? And kind of the duration. I don't want to bring back, because I know this is probably a really sensitive topic, but I just kind of want to get a full understanding.
It would probably be, I don't know, like, there would be times where it'd be like twice a week. Sometimes he might go like a week or two and he'd be great, and everything would be going great, and I'd think, okay, things gonna change, and then I have a week, where he'd hit me like every other day. Excuse me. So it was really, and it started off probably like 6 months into the relationship is when it started. And then it's been, I'd say the most we've gone without having an argument like that would have probably 2 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
So it was pretty often, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And do you remember how you felt and your emotions afterwards?
Well, it makes me feel really inferior and angry, because the same thing that I've gotten angry with my mom for, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Right.
And I was angry at her, like my whole life growing up.
Right.
Thinking, why can't she leave my dad, and like she'd be so much happier, and we'd be so much happier, and now I'm doing the exact same thing.
Of course, yeah.
And I don't even have a relationship with her now. I mean, I kind of do, but not really, because of that.
Right.
And like, I can't tell her what's going on, because then she'll be like, well, you got mad at me for this, and now you're doing it.
Of course. Okay, so it sounds like what I'm hearing is that definitely the traditional side of your family that kind of has the you need a man, the woman is under the man kind of thing, like, is definitely in the way of your kind of goal towards being alone, and especially if you were to become in a relationship again, you don't want to be vulnerable to to experiencing that again.
Right.
Would you say that would you?
Yeah, because because our religion is so traditional, it's kind of like women don't really have a whole lot of worth unless they're married.
Of course, okay. So I guess what I'm trying to think now is what we can do to overcome that, because I think that really is a huge barrier right now in your way of, overcoming this feeling of being alone and not being alone, but feeling of being okay with being alone and being okay without having a man. So I guess I kind of want to come up together with something that we can do, because family is so important. Of course, you don't want to. It's a terrible feeling to upset anyone's mother,
Yeah.
So, what can we do? I'm trying, can we think about maybe having a talk, having any kind of conversation with your mom, or maybe even your sisters, kind of come together as.
I think probably telling my sisters about it might help, because I think they would be a lot more encouraging of me to not get involved in that type of relationship. I think my mom, she could be more like, well, that's how it's supposed to be, because she's put up with it for so long that she might be like, that's how it's supposed to be. And but telling my sisters could give me more, I don't know, I could talk to them more about it, and then they'd be able to encourage me to like stop,
Okay.
try and like stop, if I start to come up with excuses like, oh, I think we should get back together because blah blah blah,
Uh-huh.
then I think they could probably encourage me to not do that.
Right, right. I guess what was I gonna say? With your sisters, are they older than you? Are they younger?
One is older, one is younger.
One is younger.
Mhm.
Okay. And have they been in a relationship? What have you gone through yet? Have they?
My older sister is actually married, but she married outside of our religion, so she actually
Okay.
married a really great guy. And my younger sister, she has a boyfriend, and I don't know a whole lot
Okay.
about him.
Hmm.
They haven't been together for too long.
Okay.
But I mean, my older sister, she's gotten her, she's really lucky. She's
Uh-huh.
gotten into a great, healthy relationship.
Okay. Good. And you said it's outside of y'all's religion,
Mhm.
though. Okay. And how is that with your mom?
They don't talk to my sister, my older sister anymore at all.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no relationship there
Right. Okay.
because that was a big deal.
Of course. Yeah.
They're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I guess I have this culturegram that I kind of wanted to do with you.
Okay.
Kind of bring out the strengths.
Mhm.
So I have you here in the center of it. I guess I'll help you fill it out and we can look at it
Okay.
afterwards. But for family, I
Mhm.
guess we could look at the strengths of like your family situation.
Yeah, that's it. My two
sisters,
sisters are probably
definitely.
definitely a strength. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Anyone else? you say? Any?
No, I mean,
Cousins?
like, because really, most of my family has been involved in this religion. So
Mhm.
it's like, we don't have big family at all. Like, my dad, my mom, my dad was an only child, and my mom only had one sibling, so we have a pretty small family. And my grandparents have all passed,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
there's really not a whole lot of us,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
why we have